It's that quiet moment of panic, the moment when desire is there, the opportunity is there, but your body betrays you. The silence that follows is deafening. It's a silence filled with shame, with apology, with the crushing weight of feeling like less of a man. You feel her disappointment, or worse, her pity, and you feel yourself fading, becoming a ghost in your own life. That feeling, that specific private dread that it might happen again, it's not just in your head, it's not just getting older. It is a physical warning sign, a signal that the plumbing of your manhood, the intricate system of blood vessels and valves that once worked without a second thought, is beginning to fail. And when that system fails, it doesn't just take your erections. It takes your confidence. It takes your vitality. It takes a piece of your very identity. What if I told you that the harder you try in that moment of panic, the more you force it, the more you are guaranteeing failure? What if the solution wasn't about trying harder, but about a simple, almost effortless physical trick? A technique so simple, yet so powerful, that it can manually trap blood inside your penis, giving you a firm, reliable erection in minutes, right when you need it most. And what if I told you that this isn't some new age fantasy, but a hard science technique that urologists have been quietly sharing with their most trusted patients for years? Hello, my name is Dr. Julian Hayes. I'm a 71-year-old board-certified urologist, and I've spent the last 43 years of my life inside the clinic, sitting across from men just like you. Good men, strong men who built careers, raised families, and served their country, only to find themselves fighting a silent, lonely battle in their later years. I've seen the frustration in their eyes. I've felt the weight of their unspoken fears, and I'm here to tell you, your best days are not behind you. Your body has not forgotten what to do. It just needs to be shown the way again. Today, I am going to pull back the curtain. I will explain the real, mechanical reason your erections are getting weaker, and it has nothing to do with your desire. And then, I am going to teach you a simple 3-second physical squeeze technique, a technique that you can use tonight. It requires no pills, no pumps, and no embarrassing gadgets. It is a tool that will give you back control, restore your confidence, and change the way you experience intimacy forever. Watch this video to the end, and I promise you, you will have a clear, step-by-step action plan to reclaim the power you thought was lost for good. Let's begin by understanding the enemy, because the problem isn't your age. It's a specific mechanical failure inside your body that almost no one ever explains. I want you to think of your penis like a simple hydraulic system. To get hard, blood needs to flow in, but just as importantly, it needs to stay there. The erection is maintained because tiny valves in the veins of the penis clamp shut, trapping the blood under pressure. As we age, this system begins to break down in two specific ways. First, the arteries that deliver the blood become stiff and narrow. Years of inflammation, cholesterol, and high blood pressure act like rust in the pipes. The flow becomes weaker. This is the part most people know about. But the second problem is far more insidious, and it is the secret reason so many men fail to stay hard even if they can get partially erect. This problem is called venous leakage. Venous leakage is a fancy term for faulty valves. The very gateways that are supposed to clamp shut and trap the blood become weak. They no longer seal properly, so as blood flows in, it immediately starts to leak back out. It's like trying to inflate a tire with a hole in it. You can pump and pump, but you can never build enough pressure to make it firm. I remember a patient of mine, Robert. He was a 72-year-old retired accountant. A man who spent his life managing complex numbers, but he couldn't solve this one deeply personal problem. He told me, "Doc, I can feel it starting to happen. I get maybe 50 or 60% there, and then it just fades." It's like the life drains right out of it. Robert was a classic case of venous leakage. His desire was strong, his testosterone was fine, but his valves were failing him. He was losing the battle against this invisible leak night after night, and the psychological toll was devastating. He started avoiding intimacy altogether. He'd make excuses. He'd pretend to be asleep. The fear of failure became so great that he simply stopped trying. He was living in a quiet state of self-imposed exile, right next to the woman he loved. But venous leakage is only part of the story. There is a second, deeper issue that makes everything worse. It's the slow, silent collapse of the very foundation of your manhood. I'm talking about your pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is a sling of muscles at the base of your torso. Think of it as the concrete foundation upon which your entire pelvic region rests. These muscles control your bladder, your bowels, and, most critically, they are essential for your erections. When you are young and active, this muscular floor is strong and responsive. It actively helps pump blood into the penis, and more importantly, it contracts during an erection to help squeeze those veins shut, preventing venous leakage. But after 60, decades of sitting, a lack of specific exercise, and the simple force of gravity caused this foundation to weaken, stretch, and sag. We call this smooth muscle atrophy. The muscles lose their tone and their power. A weak pelvic floor cannot provide the support needed to maintain an erection. It can't help squeeze the veins shut. So even if your arteries are clear and your desire is strong, a weak pelvic floor will sabotage you every single time. It's the reason why that erection that felt so promising for a moment suddenly vanishes into thin air. If you are finding this information valuable, please take a moment to comment the word "yes" below, just so I know you are getting this. Thank you for your valuable time. Now, let's continue. I had another patient, Frank, a 68-year-old former Marine, a man who took immense pride in his physical strength. He came to my office utterly defeated. "Doc, I do everything right. I'm in the gym 3 times a week. I can still lift heavy. But this one part of me, it feels dead. It's like it's not connected to the rest of my body." Frank's upper body was strong, but his pelvic floor was weak. He had never been taught to exercise these deep internal muscles. He, like millions of men, didn't even know they existed. He was a warrior with a crumbling foundation. This combination of venous leakage and a weak pelvic floor creates a perfect storm of erectile failure. It is a mechanical breakdown, and it is the reason why so many men feel a profound sense of disconnection from their own bodies. It feels like a betrayal. But what I want you to hear, what I told Robert and what I told Frank, is that this is not a life sentence. This is a mechanical problem, and mechanical problems have mechanical solutions. You don't need to surrender. You need a tool. The technique I am about to teach you is that tool. It is a way for you to manually override the system, to manually compensate for the leaky valves and the weak muscles. It allows you to become the valve, to become the lock that traps the blood and restores the pressure. It's time to turn your body from a source of frustration into a source of power. It's time to learn the secret. Let's walk through this step by step. I am going to break this down into 4 secrets. Follow them precisely, and you will have a tool you can use for the rest of your life. Secret number 1, you must identify the root muscle. Before you can control the system, you must find the master switch. This is the PC muscle, or the PC muscle. This is the primary muscle of your pelvic floor. Finding it is simple. The next time you are urinating, try to stop the flow of urine midstream. The muscle you squeeze to do that is your PC muscle. Do it a few times and get a feel for it. That is the root of your erectile power. For centuries, ancient Taoist masters called this the muscle of vitality. They knew long before modern science, that a man's strength, longevity, and sexual power were all tied to the health of this one muscle.
Most men in the modern world have completely lost connection with it. Their PC muscle is asleep. The first step is simply to wake it up. Just by identifying it and squeezing it a few times, you are sending nerve signals and blood flow to an area that has been dormant for years. I taught this to a patient, a 75-year-old named Harold. He had been a widower for 5 years and had just started a new relationship. He was terrified of being intimate. He told me, "I haven't even thought about that muscle in 50 years, Doc." The simple act of rediscovering it, of feeling that internal contraction, was a revelation for him. He said it was like finding a light switch in a dark room. Secret number 2, the pre-arousal prime. You would never start a car on a frozen morning and immediately redline the engine. You let it warm up. You must treat your body with the same respect. The biggest mistake men make is going from 0 to 100. They feel a flicker of desire and immediately expect a perfect erection. When it doesn't happen, panic sets in, cortisol floods the system, and failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You must prime the engine first. Minutes before you plan to be intimate, or even just as you start to feel aroused, I want you to do 10 quick, gentle flexes of your PC muscle. Don't strain, just squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Think of this as an invitation. You are sending a signal to your body. You are saying, "Wake up, we need blood flow down here." These gentle contractions act as a small pump, drawing initial blood into the erectile tissues and preparing the area for a much larger influx of blood. This small step changes everything. It eliminates the shock to the system. It replaces panic with preparation. It gives you an immediate sense of control and participation in the process, which is incredibly powerful for your confidence. Secret number 3, the 3-second squeeze. This is the heart of the technique. This is where you manually become the valve and trap the blood. The technique is most effective when you have achieved a partial erection. This could be anywhere from 40% to 70% of your full potential. Once you're there, you will use your hand to ensure the blood stays there. Using the thumb and forefinger of one hand, I want you to form a ring. Place this ring at the very base of your penis, right where it meets your body. This is the critical junction where the major veins that allow blood to escape are located. Now, gently but firmly squeeze. You are applying external pressure to those veins. You are manually closing the faulty gates. You are stopping the leak. Hold this firm squeeze for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. As you do this, you will likely feel the pressure inside your penis increase. You will feel it becoming harder, fuller. This is because the blood that is flowing in can no longer escape. You have trapped it. After 3 seconds, release the pressure for a moment, then squeeze again. 3 seconds on, 1 second off. This rhythmic squeezing does 2 things. First, it physically traps the blood, creating a powerful, hard erection. Second, the rhythm itself is a form of stimulation that encourages even more blood to flow in. I had a patient, David, a 69-year-old who had been relying on pills for years with decreasing success. He told me the side effects were making him miserable. When I taught him this technique, he was skeptical. He came back 2 weeks later and said, "Doc, it's unbelievable. I feel in control. The pill made me feel like a passenger. This makes me feel like the pilot." That is the difference. You are no longer a passive victim of your body's failures. You are an active participant in your success. Secret number 4, the lock and hold mindset. The physical technique is powerful, but when you combine it with a focused mind, it becomes unstoppable. As you are applying the 3-second squeeze, I do not want you to be thinking about failure. I do not want you to be worrying about your partner. I want you to focus all of your mental energy on one single image. Visualize the blood flowing into your penis and staying there. See it as a powerful river of energy. As you squeeze, visualize a powerful gate slamming shut, locking that energy inside. Feel the power, the fullness, the hardness building. This is not mystical thinking. This is neurophysiology. Your brain and your nervous system are profoundly connected. When your mind is focused on success, on power, on the feeling of hardness, it sends signals that relax the arteries, allowing even more blood to flow in, while telling the pelvic muscles to stay engaged. When you allow your mind to be filled with anxiety and fear, you are sending the opposite signals. You are telling your body to retreat, to shut down. The combination of the physical squeeze and the focused mind creates a powerful feedback loop. The physical success builds your mental confidence, and your mental confidence amplifies your physical success. This is how you reclaim not just your erection, but your masculine power. You are aligning your body and your mind toward a single, unified purpose. Now you have the tool. You have the 4 secrets to making it work. You understand that this is a direct mechanical solution to the mechanical problem of venous leakage and a weak pelvic floor. But what happens next? How do you take this newfound control and turn it from a temporary fix into a permanent restoration of your natural function? The final step is about looking to the future. It's about rebuilding the system from the inside out so that one day you may not even need the technique. Let's talk about how to make that happen. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, not just for listening, but for believing that change is still possible, that courage is the first step toward any healing. We have talked about the mechanics of failure, the rust in the pipes of your arteries, the leaky valves of venous leakage, and the crumbling foundation of a weak pelvic floor. But more importantly, we have talked about the mechanics of success. You now have a powerful urologist-approved tool, the 3-second squeeze technique. You know the 4 secrets to making it work: identifying the root muscle, priming the system before arousal, using the squeeze to manually trap blood, and locking it all in with a focused mind. This technique is your lifeline. It is your way to have confidence and control in the moments that matter most. It removes the fear. And when you remove the fear, you open the door to genuine connection and pleasure again. But I want you to imagine a future where you don't even need this technique. A future where your body's own natural systems are so strong, so healthy, that powerful erections become your normal state once more. That future is possible. This squeeze technique is the first step. It is the intervention that gives you immediate results and, more importantly, immediate hope. But the next step is to begin the deeper work of rebuilding the system itself, strengthening the pelvic floor through targeted exercises, cleaning the arteries through specific, powerful foods, and balancing the hormones that govern your entire masculine identity. Imagine waking up every morning with that familiar, youthful strength. Imagine entering an intimate moment, not with anxiety, but with the quiet, unshakable confidence of a man who is in full command of his body. This is not a fantasy. This is the result of taking control. You have already taken the first, most important step by seeking out this knowledge. You have chosen to be a fighter, not a victim. Now that you know this 3-second squeeze technique to manually control your erections, it is absolutely critical that you learn about the 3 so-called health foods that are silently weakening your pelvic floor and making the problem worse. Many men eat these every day, thinking they are doing something good for their body, when in fact, they are sabotaging their manhood. I detail this in my next video, which you should watch immediately. But before you go, I want to hear from you. What was the most surprising thing you learned in this video today? Was it the idea of venous leakage or the importance of the pelvic floor? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and your story might just be the thing that inspires another man to take back control of his health too. Thank you for your time and your trust. You are not alone on this journey. Take this tool, use it, and reclaim the man you are always meant to be.